Excerpt 10. I will constantly practice the 6 paramitas of giving, precept observation, patience, diligence, meditative concentration, and wisdom. For those sentient beings who are not yet awakened, I will help them attain awakening. For those who are awakened, I will help them attain Buddhahood. Rather than make offerings to sages as countless as the Ganges sands, I would perseveringly and courageously seek proper enlightenment. The statement, I will constantly practice the 6 paramitas of giving, precept observation, patience, diligence, meditative concentration, and wisdom, describes the conduct of bodhisattvas in this world. In other words, it is the standard for their mindset and practice. We should learn this. Giving is letting go of everything in this world. All the afflictions, even illnesses, birth and death, and the root cause of transmigration come about because one is unwilling to let go of wandering thoughts and attachments. One truly reaps the fruit of one's actions. The purpose of giving is to help one let go of one's concerns, worries, afflictions, wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. Many people think that they are walking the bodhisattva path, practicing giving and making offerings everywhere, but their intent is to gain a lot through giving a little. They give some money because they want to have wealth, and give teachings because they want to have intelligence and wisdom. If one practices giving with such thinking, one is not a bodhisattva. Such thinking comes from an ordinary being's wandering thoughts of greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance. The purpose of bodhisattvas practicing giving is to let go of their wandering thoughts. When they let go of all of the wandering thoughts, boundless wisdom, capabilities, and wealth innate in the true nature will naturally manifest. Once we let go, there is no longer a need to seek or to cultivate. When Master Huineng attained enlightenment, he said, "Who would have expected that inherent nature is originally complete in itself? Who would have expected that inherent nature can produce myriad things? All enjoyment is as one wishes and manifests from one's thoughts." When the Buddha taught giving, he was teaching us to let go of wandering thoughts and to uncover innate virtues. This is a true benefit. A big problem with ordinary beings is that we cannot let go. Therefore, we trouble the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to use various expedient means to indirectly and tactfully help us gradually let go. Bodhisattvas set examples with their behavior to teach us to practice giving and to let go of fame, prestige, gain, wealth, the 5 desires, the 6 dusts, affliction, worry, and birth and death. When we let go of everything, we will attain great freedom. The Diamond Sutra says, even the Dharma has to be laid aside, let alone worldly teachings. Dharma refers to the Buddha Dharma. One should not be attached to the Buddha Dharma either. Any attachment is a mistake. The Buddha Dharma is like a boat, something we use for crossing a river. Upon reaching our destination, we should let go of the tool that got us there. The Buddha Dharma is to help us overcome difficulties. When we have done so, we should not be attached to the Buddha Dharma and should let go of it too. Precept observation means abiding by laws. When one abides by laws, one will naturally have peace of mind and be free of all fears. Etiquette taught in Confucianism and the precepts taught in Buddhism are the norms for our daily behavior. The most important fundamental precepts set by the Buddha are these four: no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no lying. These four offenses are intrinsically wrong. Regardless of whether we have received the precepts, we commit an offense when we do any of these four acts. The precept of not taking intoxicants is a preventive measure. When we carefully look at people who committed grave offenses, we will see that a lot of them were alcohol related. One loses reason when drunk. This was why the Buddha included not taking intoxicants as a major precept. In addition, we should also abide by the country's laws and customs. This way we will get along harmoniously with others. This is the true meaning of precept observation. Patience is forbearance. The Prajna Sutra says, all accomplishments are attributed to patience. Therefore, patience requires resolute endurance. Considerable patience is needed for any accomplishment in worldly undertakings, let alone in learning Buddhism. One must be able to exercise patience. When one is patient, one will be able to maintain a tranquil mind and advance in one's cultivation. If one is not patient, one will not have any progress in one's cultivation, no matter how diligently one cultivates. Patience requires true effort. It is a prerequisite for meditative concentration. The Chinese term for diligence is Jing. Jing means unadulterated, and Jin means making progress. Many practitioners resolve to exert themselves, but their efforts are unfocused. They learn many things, but they get all mixed up. This is adulterated progress, so they cannot achieve in their practice. When one concentrates on one Dharma door, one's progress will be rapid. For example, if a person learns only one sutra, after 1 year this person will achieve in his or her learning. On the other hand, if another person simultaneously learns 10 sutras, his or her achievement in learning cannot compare with that of the person who concentrates on one sutra. After one learns a sutra, for example the Amitabha Sutra, and studies it for 10 years, wherever one goes in the world, people will say, Amitabha Buddha is here, or you are Amitabha Buddha manifested. If one learns the Ksitigarbha Sutra for 10 years, one will become Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. If one learns the Universal Door chapter for 10 years, one will become Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. The question is whether one is able to focus on one sutra. People today like to learn extensively, that is, to learn many things. This concept is wrong, and such thinking will lead to failure, definitely not success. I had a little exposure to my teacher's lineage. I followed the teaching of my teacher, Mr. Li Bingnan, but not completely. Had I completely followed his teaching, I would have achieved more than I have today. I am regretful now. In 10 years I learned 5 sutras under Mr. Li's guidance. He set a rule that a student had to learn one sutra well before starting the second sutra. What was the criterion for learning well? Mr. Li's acknowledgement. If he did not think that the student had learned it well, the student had to continue learning it. As a Chinese saying goes, if one does not listen to the advice of an elder person, one will soon suffer disadvantages.